Subscribe to our channel by clicking the subscribe button. Click the bell button and enjoy the latest uploads.
Tables. So far, we haven't taken any time to look at the structure of a website. You'll notice that most websites have a navigation system at the top, right underneath their banner, or on the left or right columns of the page. Here's a couple common layouts. Right up here is usually where the banner goes, navigation goes in here, and then the content is the rest of the page. Or we'll have a banner or a logo up here, column 1 for navigation, column 2 for navigation and or ads, and then content in here. Now there are different variances. These are just a couple examples I just wanted to quickly show to you. This is known as the structure of a web page, where a banner or logo is displayed, an area of content, and a navigation area to get around the site is also displayed. One way of creating a layout is by using a table. Here's some example code of a table. We open it, we close it, TR, which is a table row, and we have to create a table row in order to put cells into it. We have TH, which is a table header, and TH will always center your text and bold it, and this is for displaying columns of text, and you want the header of it to be much more eye-grabbing than the rest of it, so that people know exactly what they're looking at. When we close our table row, we have another table row that we open, and this time we use TD, which is table data cell. This is very similar to our table header, which is our TH. However, it does not center the text and it does not bold it. We have 3 TDs, which will create 3 cells, one more row for 3 more cells. Now right now this probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense, so let's take a look at what we have. We have our first row, which is our first TR, and that's going to go right across here. We have our TH1, TH number 2, and our third TH. TH is table header, and remember how I said that it's always aligned into the center and bolded? And then the other 2 rows that we have were just TDs, which is a table data cell. These are typically aligned to the left, and they're not bolded. And then we have the last TR that we looked at, and that's just for an extra row for demonstration purposes. Borders. The table element has a border attribute. Simply apply the border attribute with a number, and it also supports custom colors. So if you use the border color attribute and you type a color or a hex, it will give you that color. Let's look at an example. We have a table with a border of 2, so that's a 2-pixel border all the way around it and through the cells, and our border color is F00, which is red. We could also just type red here. We have our first row. It's right here. Header number 1 is our first CH, so it's going to show up first. From top left to bottom right is how a table works. TH number 2, so our second header. And we're done with this row, so we're going to go on to our next row. We have our first table data cell, and then we have a second table data cell. And you can change the border value to anything you like. If you want no border, you just type 0. If you want a huge border, you type 50. You can change the color. Again, you could type blue or red or black. You could also use the hex. So 000, FFF for white, F00 for red, as this example shows. And then we have height and width. Now, this is very similar to our images. Tables also support height and width attributes. These support percentages and pixels though, whereas an image only supports pixels. So if you wanted a table width, header width, or cell width, you can apply the width like so. You open your table with your open table tag, and you apply the attribute of width is equal to 50%. Now this will make your entire table, such as this one here, 50% of your screen, from left to right. You can change the TH to 50%, which means that this header up here, if we had a 50% width, would take up 50% of the table. And same thing with the data cell. If we change that to 50%, this would also be half of the table. Now the exact same thing applies with height, although percentages are not supported in every browser, and sometimes it makes your table look a little bit wonky in different browsers. So when you're applying a height to a table, a TH, or a TD, I would strongly suggest using pixels if you can. The only problem with that is you have to know the absolute height. If you want a table to expand over the entire browser, then you want a width and height of 100%, but height of 100% might not always work. So that's just something for you to know. The tables can be a little bit tricky to learn, and that's just because of the order of the elements. But once you get them, they can be very, very easy, and they're a very simple way to structure or substructure a web page. Now I just want to go back to here and show you again how this works. And this is because this is 3 deep. This is a hierarchy, actually, is what it's called. So we have our most parent, our child node, or child element, I should say, and a grandchild element. Now the most important thing about tables when you're writing one out is that you always have to have a row before you can have a cell. So take some time, play around with that. I would strongly suggest just opening up your editor and messing around with it. Make mistakes so you learn exactly how it works, exactly how it doesn't work, and you can kind of get a grasp of how the HTML hierarchy will work. Along with that, it will also help you remember which elements go where inside the table.